What is up, guys? Let's discuss which flagship has aged the best here. Let's compare the S9 Plus to the iPhone 10 here. Two excellent flagship phones. Just got the S9 Plus, have the iPhone 10 for a while. Absolutely love this phone. I think it has aged so well and the price is right on both of these phones. Now you can find an S9 Plus much cheaper for around $189. iPhone 10 is going to cost you around 300 bucks. So let's go ahead and just dive into it with hardware. I think both phones still look very good. You can't look at these two phones and say that they're not very nice looking phones here. You can see the S9 Plus obviously a little bigger here. They seem to be about the same thickness as well, and they feel like the same weight too. You do have a premium design on the iPhone 10 here. It is a glass and metal design here, and that is the same story on the S9 Plus here. Just to go over the hardware, iPhone 10, you do have your volume rockers, mute vibration switch on here. You also have a big power button, which I absolutely love. And then you have your charging port, stereo speakers are on board as well. No headphone jack on the iPhone 10. S9 Plus here, we do have our physical fingerprint scanner on the back here. Power button, your volume rockers, big speed button on here as well. We also have our headphone jack. So this did retain the headphone jack, which I think was a smart move by Samsung. Obviously, you know, with the boom of wireless earbuds, you know, most manufacturers are taking them out now. But it is what it is. I still like the headphone jack. And then you have, you know, USB Type-C stereo speakers, again, on both of these devices. Alright guys, to talk about the display. So, I think the S9 Plus display actually aged a little bit better here. So, it actually has no notch on the S9, which is kind of rare for phones these days to not have a notch on it. So, the S9 Plus has a Super AMOLED display. It is a 6.2-inch 1440p display, 529 for the PPI, super sharp resolution, has a slight curve to it. The iPhone 10 has a Super Retina OLED display at 5.8 inches, so slightly smaller. And then you have a 1080p plus resolution, 458 for the PPI. So I definitely prefer the S9 Plus display. I think colors overall look really good on here. And again, you can see on the iPhone, you do have a bigger notch on here. So I just think your viewing experience, whether you're watching YouTube or whether you're playing video games or whatever, I just think your viewing experience is going to be much better on the S9 Plus, solely because of just the higher resolution. And then you also have no notch or, you know, punch hole on this guy, which I think is awesome. Now there is a good reason for, you know, the iPhone having the sort of notch or whatever, is because of the Face ID is very good, very secure on here. But definitely, as far as like your overall viewing experience, the S9 Plus is going to take it for sure. Now, one of the benefits to having an iPhone is that you get really great software support. So I want to talk about that. So on the iPhone, you do have the latest iOS 14 on here. You have the Apple A11 chip, no SD card support. You also have 64 gigs of internal storage and 3 gigs of RAM. On the S9 Plus, we have Android 10, so you can, you know, download ROMs and stuff. There's a big ROM community for, you know, Samsung. You also have the Snapdragon 845 and Adreno 630, but you do have SD card support, 64 gigs of internal storage, and 6 gigs of RAM. But I want to talk about software because we don't know how much longer the iPhone 10 is going to get support. I think it's gotten a ton of updates. I believe this phone launched with iOS 11. So, you know, it's probably got a few more updates to go. So that is one thing about, you know, iOS that is always awesome. You're going to get great software support. All right, so let's get a quick speed test going here. Let's go ahead and launch Subway Surfer here. iPhone S9. Let's try YouTube. iPhone again. Let's try Instagram. No, look like we got a hiccup right there. Let's try something else. Let's try Pokemon Go. Ooh, that was about a tie. Let's try Temple Run. So you can see the phones are neck and neck, but it looks like the iPhone might be a little bit faster now. I wish the S9 Plus, well, that was almost a tie. So you can see it's neck and neck, really. So there's no actual real speed difference between both of these devices, which is awesome for an older flagships like this. They're keeping up very well. And mostly on the S9 part. Oh, S9 actually got that. So let's go ahead and try a more heavy game like PUBG here. Alright, let's try PUBG here. See which one gets in faster. Let's check out the graphic performance on both of these devices as well. It looks like the S9 Plus got into PUBG faster. iPhone kind of still chugging along here. And we're in on the iPhone. So I think graphic performance should be about the same on both of these devices here. Let's find out. Okay. Oh my god, why are there so many pop-ups on PUBG? Jesus. Alright. So balance, extreme, smooth, extreme. And then we can't get this. Yeah, so I think the extreme. Oh, they're about the same settings. Oh, okay, so yeah, they are the exact same settings. Yeah, so you will get literally the exact same gaming experience on both of these devices. So as far as gaming performance, you're going to get the same type of speed. So overall, as we saw, launching applications is going to be about the same, and your PUBG graphics and just the overall gaming experience is going to be about the same on both of these devices. Now, I do have gaming tests on both of these guys. If you guys want to check that out, be sure to do that. But if you're curious about, which one is going to game better, they both, have the exact same settings. So they're going to be pretty much the same when it comes to your gaming experience. Alright, so I do want to talk about some additional features here, just some standout things about each phone. So with the iPhone, you of course have Face ID, which is super secure, and it works flawlessly. It's really, really fast. And I guess the other benefit with the iPhone that it has over the Galaxy is, like I said, with software updates, it's gonna get more updates other than the Galaxy. But for additional features, I think you have a little bit more. So they both have NFC and stuff like that, but the Galaxy has a lot of software tricks up its sleeve. It has the Samsung desktop support on here. You have secure folders on here. Dolby Atmos, Samsung Kids on here, built-in screen recorder, stuff like that. But the main thing is your Samsung desktop support. That's a big one. In your secure folders, I think it's a big one. So yeah, you're not gonna get that software update like you're gonna get on the iPhone, but you do have that on here as well. So I think that's really awesome. And as far as getting into the device, the physical fingerprint scanner is very fast on here. But you also have the option to do face unlock as well. So I like having both options instead. With Apple, you only really get one option. So if Apple would bring Touch ID back in the power button or in display, that would be awesome. Because you always want to have two options, just in case you got a mask on, you don't want to take the mask off, whatever the case might be. It's nice to have that option. Both phones have excellent stereo speakers on here, and they both actually have really good haptic feedback or vibration. But let's go ahead and test them out, maxed out volume. The iPhone might be slightly louder. Yeah, it's really close, guys. I think the iPhone might be slightly louder, but I think the Galaxy is giving off a cleaner sound. The iPhone is hisses a little bit. Yeah, but the iPhone is definitely thumping a little bit louder for the overall bass quality. But overall, you're getting two very full sounding speakers on here. Great vibrations on both of these guys. So for speaker quality, you're getting two excellent phones for that. So both phones have the exact same camera setup. They both have a dual camera setup with the telephoto lens. Both of these phones do not have an ultra wide, which kind of sucks. It depends on what kind of photos you like taking. But just to go over the camera specs here, on the iPhone, we do have a 12 megapixel standard, a 12 megapixel telephoto, 4K video, 7 megapixel selfie cam that shoots in 1080p. And the iPhone's photos, as you can see, are very good. They do a good job with detail. They do a good job, especially with video. That's what I'm mostly impressed by with the iPhone. It's just super smooth video on here as well. But as you can see, color is pretty good. Not always accurate, but decent. It also can struggle with overexposure sometimes, but overall, I think for the price you're paying, you're getting a pretty good camera. The selfie cam is still good for FaceTime and taking selfies and stuff like that. So overall, it's still a very good camera. I think, at this $300 price point, I definitely would not say it's bad by any means. And it's pretty much the same case with the Galaxy S9. You have, again, a dual camera setup, 12 megapixel standard, 12 megapixel telephoto, 4K video, and then an 8 megapixel selfie with a 2 megapixel iris scanner that shoots in 1440p. And the same story, great detail, great color on here as well. And I advise you guys to check out the the full videos on this to see the cameras a little bit more in depth. But overall, you're getting very good cameras on both of these guys, especially the S9 at the price point is pretty much on point with the iPhone 10, but it's much cheaper. So if you're trying to decide on which phone to get because you want the cheaper phone, but you want the good camera, but you might not want to spend that much money, the S9 Plus is definitely an excellent camera for very cheap. So I definitely would consider that as well. Alright, so let's talk about the battery life situation on here. So on the iPhone, you do have a 2716 milliamp battery with 15 watt charging with wireless charging. The S9 Plus, you do have a 3500 milliamp battery with 15 watt charging with wireless charging. Basically, you will get better battery life on the S9 Plus. It has the bigger battery. I've had a pretty good battery experience with this phone. The iPhone 10 does a really good job standby, but as far as like using it, like just using it all day, you can get around maybe 5-6 hours of screen on time if you have good battery health like the one I have on here. The S9 Plus will easily get you that 6 hours, if not 7 hours of screen on time. And this is from a light, phone user perspective. I do not game really hard on my phones and stuff like that. So that is pretty much it. What do you guys think? iPhone 10 versus the S9 Plus. Which phone has aged better? Which one would you pick? Be sure to let me know, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.